that Scarlet and Violet? Yo, dang. Okay, I think that's better. Okay, new additions bring more excitement to Pokemon battles. Alright. This, I saw this. I saw a glimpse of this. Is Cyclizer? Shentail, create a substitute and swap places with a party Pokemon in waiting. Ah, okay. It's kind of like if you baton pass a substitute. That's kind of cool. Mirror Herb, copies an opponent's stat increases. Ooh, that could be busted. It's gonna be tricky to play around that, eh? Like if you weakness policy, like if you proc someone's weakness policy, and you have the Mirror Herb, that could be dangerous for either side, eh? Or like making decisions about whether or not you're gonna Dragon Dance. Sorry, I missed the crystallizing thing. Ah, I'm gonna go back. Sorry, I missed the crystallizing thing. I was talking, I'm sorry. I'm going back, I'm sorry guys. Changes types to turn the table. Okay, yeah. Wait. Okay. Is that gonna make moves that aren't typically stab? Loaded dice makes multi-strikes moves more likely to hit more times. More times? Yikes. Yo, who needs skilling, eh? That sounds interesting. Okay, there's some new items. Oh, it's a little ghosty! A little ghosty! See, this is gonna be interesting, because then you're gonna have to think. See, I think this is interesting, because then you have to rethink things that would normally be super effective. You also have to think and worry about that. You're gonna have to worry about that kind of stuff too. So the thing I think is cool with with this is that not only do you have to think about super effective moves, we also have to think about the possibility of immunity that's gonna come from terrestrializing. That kind of stuff will be interesting, I think. Any Terra type, so it should be interesting. You're gonna have to think about the meta though, right? Because more likely than not, they're gonna like if you can get an immunity with a Terra typing, then you're probably gonna play for that, right? Then you're gonna have to think about the possibilities, the most likely. You're gonna have to figure out the meta, and also figure out if your Pokemon are able to find moves that are able to counter that. I think it'll be interesting. I think it's gonna make VGC a lot more strategic and probably a little bit more difficult. I think this may intimidate people who want to get into VGC. I think Sword and Shield is really good to get into VGC. I think this is going to set people back a little bit because I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult, especially with the possibilities. It's more about chance than skill. I don't know about that. I think, I don't know. I think the skills is still kind of there because you do need the knowledge of Pokemon typing, but the terraforming thing, like especially if you can get an immunity for like something that you're typically super weak against. For example, if a flying or like Gyarados, like for example, if Gyarados manages to like, I don't know if Gyarados is in the game. I honestly haven't been paying attention. It's kind of like you gotta think if they terrestrialize into something that typically they're super weak to a type with immunity. For example, Gyarados 4 times weak to electric. If it can terrestrialize to a ground type, that could be tricky. Yeah, we don't know too much about the details. I'm wondering if it's gonna last more than 1 turn, kind of like Dynamaxing, or if you're gonna keep it until you get knocked out, kind of like Mega Evolution. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be 1 mon per battle. I think that's gonna be what it is, because that's how it is with most things, right? You can only Mega Evolve once. C moves you can only do once, right? In a battle. I think it's gonna be the same for this. Whether or not it lasts for the whole thing. Into an electric type holding an air balloon. Oh no. Like, the example they use here, Tyranitar, typically 4 times weak to fighting. It terrestrialized to a ghost type, immune. So I think it'll definitely be interesting. It's the beginning of this month, yeah. But I think ranked battles is switch return to Scarlet and Violet, yeah. But I think Sword and Shield made it very easy with rental teams. I think the terastalizing is gonna be a little bit intimidating, especially if they are capable of terastalizing into any type. That's where it kind of gets tricky, right? Because then you have to play around all the potential types. But I mean, it's not necessarily all the potential types, because there's gonna be a set amount that they're gonna swap to. Chances are it's more likely than not gonna be something that's either immune or resist something that the Pokemon is typically weak to, is what I'm guessing. I'm not sure if it's only gonna last for a couple of turns or until the Pokemon's knocked out, once per battle, obviously. You think they said it'll last until defeats last switch? Ah, okay. Yeah, so that's a little tricky, right? But it could be interesting. I think it'll be fun, but it's so the same Pokemon cannot Terra into different types. Oh. So I think well, cause this one, what? Tyranitar turned into a ghost type. I'm wondering if they have like specific, because I think it'd be a little too hard, or I guess too difficult, if they are able to turn into absolutely any type possible, because then that makes the gameplay kind of hard. Yeah. I mean, that makes the building aspect a little bit easier, but then it's a matter of like predicting which Terra they're running, right? There's definitely gonna be metas for which one's gonna be the most popular. It'll make VGC different, interesting, right? Because there's gonna be like the core meta for VGC battles, but then also there's definitely gonna be meta Terra typings as well. Yeah, but if you catch a different T-Tar, it could be a different Terra. Yeah. So, flying Terra type Breloom. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be hard, I think, at the beginning, but I think people will pick up on it pretty easily. I think all the different possibilities for Terra might off-put people who may want to get into VGC, but I think it'll make it a lot of fun. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. Personally, I think it'll be a lot of fun. But I can definitely see it'll be difficult a bit. Only changes one type, or if it changes both types. That's true, Byland, right? Because they use a duo typing right here. Rock, Dark, becomes Ghost. I don't know if it's just Part Ghost. Probably be like Hidden Power. Yeah, maybe, right? Maybe. Breeding's gonna be a pain. Yeah, absolutely. But either way, I think is a cool mechanic. I think it's cool. I think it can I think it's gonna shake up the VGC. And I think it's gonna make it a lot of fun. Despite the fact that everyone is already saying it's an absolutely crap trailer, I quite like it. I think it's really cool. But yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be cool. I think VGC is gonna be more interesting this way, so yay. Especially because, like, you know, Dynamaxing, you don't change your typing, right? Like, you get cool forms, super powered forms that do other things, but it's not like your typings change when you Dynamax. So I think this is gonna be interesting. It's like kind of like Mega Evolution, right? Because if certain Mega Evolutions kind of change typings, I think it's kind of similar to that, but a little bit more jazzed up. A little bit more jazzed up, you know? You're kind of Crystal. Will Charizard be in Gen 9? Honestly, Ramos, I kind of hope not. I kind of hope not. Anyways, let us swap back to our shiny hunting layout.